Hello, I am Mulbe Dillard, and I am currently #1 on the APGA Tour Collegiate Rankings. So my first time picking up a golf club was when I was 2 years old at Jackson Park driving range with my dad. He brought me to the driving range because, I think because my mom had been taking care of me for a little while, so he brought me to the driving range and I just saw what he was doing, so I started hitting golf balls next to him, and then I fell in love with the game after that. The reason why I continued to play golf was because it's a one-man sport, so I don't have to depend on anybody else for my faults or my success. So like when I was playing basketball, if somebody else messed up, then we end up losing the game. But in golf, if I mess up, then it's like I take full responsibility for everything that goes on. So that's why I like the game. As a black guy in a mostly white dominant sport, you get those looks, but I haven't experienced anything like super racial. But everyone usually probably keeps that to themselves. But it's definitely an experience. Definitely experience. I did 2 internships my freshman and sophomore year, and I made some very good connections through those internships through the School of Business here at FAMU, and I've had some really good support in terms of people supporting the FAMU golf team through fundraisers that we had from my internships, and people that are looking forward to hopefully sponsoring me in the near future when I turn pro. So FAMU's definitely presented me with a lot of opportunities through sponsorships and connections and stuff like that, so I'm very happy about that. But I'm glad that I made the decision to come to an HBCU just for not just like the golf part, but also just being able to go to school with a lot of people that look exactly like me, but playing golf in a more white dominant sport, it usually hits me harder when I'm playing as an individual. So it's different being able to go out and like with school and playing with all guys of color and different ethnicities to going back home and playing with mostly white guys back at home. But it's good just to say that the scores don't really have a color to them, and pretty much let the golf clubs do the talking for you. But I'd definitely say that I've learned a lot, and it's made me stronger throughout the process. When I was in Chicago over the summer, right after my senior year, I made a golf academy called the Mulbe Dillard Golf Academy, and it was located at Jackson Park driving range. And so what I did through that academy is that a lot of locals that my mom knew, like my mom's coworkers and just family friends that we had, I gave lessons to the kids and to adults, kids from anywhere from 5 until adults the age of like 60 or 65. And so my goal through there was just to be able to give back and just, show the community that where I started wasn't really for much. Like Jackson Park isn't the nicest driving range, but always making sure to, when I go back, to talk to the locals, have conversations, make sure to help out with anything golf related that I can, and just being able to do that. I know that there were people that I looked up to when I was younger, so just to be able to be that kind of role model for kids back in Chicago is good. I've always loved to give back. You never know what's going to happen, so at the times that you're at your lowest point and you think that pretty much all is doomed, there's always something that you can improve in. There's always more work that you can put in. There's always more tournaments you can play in, more people you can talk to for different experiences. So never get down on yourself. There's always something good that's going to come from hard work. Yeah, APGA Tour rankings is kind of like a collegiate ranking system that they have for HBCU golfers, and there's more minority golfers than HBCU golfers, and it's just kind of allowing them to have exposure to play in some like mini tour events that are feeder programs into the PGA. And so I actually didn't know that they were coming out with the rankings, and my coach just one day told me that they were coming out with the rankings, and it was good to hear. It was good to hear that I had the number one position, but I didn't let that kind of stop my work ethic from like going down or anything like that. I still need to make sure that I finish this year in number one, so I can get those perks that they have through that system. FAMU's helped me just by always making sure, our coach always makes sure to push us and just tell us to work on the things that aren't necessarily the most fun things to work on, but the things that we need to focus on in order to get good. And just being at FAMU, we don't always have the greatest facilities, and that's helped me kind of with just the grind and just knowing that you can get good with kind of whatever you're presented with, and just being able to keep that grind through some of the hard times that we've experienced at FAMU. I think that's helped a lot in my career. Being from Chicago, it's definitely helped with being strong and just sticking to a goal. Like, a lot of people say being from Chicago is kind of like being like a crab in the bucket, a lot of things trying to pull you down and deter you from your goals. But being able to have that experience of living in Chicago and grinding everything out, golf isn't really a up north sport, it's more of a warm sport. So being able to grind during the winter and just stick to a goal, it's definitely helped my mentality kind of moving forward with hopefully being able to play professional one day. Well, my ultimate goal is to make it to the PGA. That'll be great. But honestly, since I was a kid, my number one goal for college was to just play at a Division I college. I'm living that dream right now, and my dream ever since I was a kid again was just to play professional golf as a pro, and that whether that's mini tour, whether that is the PGA, or whether that's overseas or something. I love the game so much that I couldn't really imagine myself doing anything other than playing golf. So that's definitely a dream of mine.